So I wanted to create a part one video before going on to like episode one video, if you will, before going on to the solution part of this very interesting problem that I'm facing. It's for a personal project, and I've realized that personal projects are a great way to encounter some computer science kind of problems. So if we go to this project of mine, no, okay, sorry, not this one, maybe this one. So this is a set of broken stuff that I have online. It's work in progress mostly, and there's this app over here called Detect Scales. It's a very rudimentary app at the moment, but it can help to outline the problem that I have faced recently. So the feature really that I want to make available either through a Maxwell Live device or either through a browser-based device or whatever. So these are the notes for C major scale, right? All the white notes. And if I make this C minor, then these are the notes for C minor. So the feature that I want to do is I want the user to select a few notes like this. So I selected C, D, and maybe let's just select the white notes. So I just selected these four notes. Let's stick to that. So these are the four notes that I've selected, and I want to be able to print over here all the possible scales from this list that have these four notes. So what I mean by that is, so let me demonstrate. So in this case, in this version of the app, I don't have that feature. I'm expecting the user to select the scale to perform a check for these notes, and that's what this program, if you will, this client app is doing. And now it has kind of outputted these two scales, D Aeolian and A Aeolian, basically D minor and A minor. And then let me select Dorian. So it went and searched between Dorian and Aeolian for these four notes. It went and searched for all the scales and for these two scales, and identified which of those have these four notes. There are these 12 notes, right? So the script is looping 12 times on top of both of these scales because these are selected. So 12 to the 24 scales it is generating, and on each scale it is checking if C, D, E, and F exists in that scale. If so, it is adding that scale to some array, and at the end of the whole loop is returning these scales in that array. So this is a very rudimentary kind of implementation, and I don't like it. Plus I'm expecting the user to select the scale or whatever this script should perform the loop on, and then output this list. And it works at the moment, but I want to take it a step further. If I go about solving this problem the way I have solved it over here, which means as soon as the user selects a note, what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop over all of these scales, come up with the notes for each of these scales on the chromatic scale. Like for C Aeolian, these are the notes. Then D flat Aeolian, these are the notes. D Aeolian, these are the notes. Do that for each and every scale over here. There are over 100 scales here, and in time I'm planning to add more scales, more types of patterns, frequency patterns, so that I can have a bigger set of scales to loop over. So if I continue this entire process, what that means is iterate over each of these notes, create a scale. Let's say I'm on the iteration number 1 where I'm on C. Create a scale for C Aeolian, C altered, C augmented, C augmented heptatonic, and the rest of it, right up till whole tone pentatonic. So let's assume these are 100 scales. So I will create 100 arrays for the key of C, all these scales, and then I'll run a loop on each and every one of them to see if this C, D, E, F, and A flat exists on that. And then I'll move on to D flat, go all over the scales, again the same thing, and then D, and then E flat, and so on and so. So as you can imagine, this is a very process intensive kind of issue, and this is a good time to start considering some specific data structures and algorithms to solve this problem. And there are a bunch of ways to do this. I don't have the solution in this part of the video. I'll have that in the next part. I just wanted to kind of highlight what the problem is, so that if somebody who's not interested into scales and this music stuff, they can also still attempt to solve it. I have discussed this solution with a colleague of mine at work who doesn't really play any instrument, but he is a good programmer. So I think that if I can, outline the problem like this, anybody can solve it. Anybody with interest in computer science. Okay, so I've opened up a blank text file just to type out some things as I go along. So one of the solutions that I tried was, so the first thing is, and this is something that my son suggested, is the first thing is to solve this problem. I need a pre-processing step where I will go over all of these scales, generate all the nodes, and create a JSON file or a data structure, or put it in some database or something like that, where I will have a repository of all the scales and their nodes, so that when the need comes to perform a check, I have that list ready, right? So what that would look like is, and I think I wrote some code around this. Let me check. So this is just some test folder, and I have this file called detect.js. Let me just start all over again. So let's get rid of all of this. So the only thing this code is doing right now is importing Scribbletune. So let's console something out. So scribble.scales, this will print out all the possible scales that Scribbletune has, and here I'll use nodemon to keep running this script as soon as it is saved. So as you can see, it has kind of printed out, I hope this is visible. Yeah, so this has printed out all the possible scales from Scribbletune. Now what I'm going to do is, and this is an array, so I'm going to loop over that array with a for each loop, and I'll call the element s for scale, and in here I'll just console that scale out. So this is going to do the same thing as this, right? It is doing the same thing. I'm just going to change it a bit now. Instead of just printing out the name of the scale, I'm going to print out scribble.scale, and then I'm going to use C4 as an arbitrary key to get the scale for. So at this point the scale is S. Now if I hit save, presumably I've got all the scales possible for the in the key of C for all of these scales. So if you see this, it's kind of printed out a bunch of arrays, starting with the C major scale probably, and then the C minor scale, and then so on. All these scales in the key of C for all the scales in Scribbletune. Technically what I want to do is I want to run one more loop inside this, and this is going to get seriously ugly, but that's fine. I just wanted to kind of outline the problem first before I begin to solve, because I realized while doing all this, I cannot just start writing the code for it. I have to think this through, and while thinking it through, I'm trying out a few suboptimal methods just to see what the problem looks like really. So what we're going to do next is we are going to go for the chromatic scale, which has all the nodes, and then loop over that as well. And in here we'll call this just n for note. Naming is very important. So for each note, might as well call it note. For each note in the C's chromatic scale, I'm inside the scales loop any which ways. I want to generate the scale for that note. So presumably what I'm going to end up with is, okay, I should probably get rid of C. I should just do note plus. Yeah, now I'll get all the possible scales. We've got an error, and that's fine, because I think note over here already has the octave, so I don't need this text, but I might just need a blank. I might just need an empty string. Okay, so here we go. So we have all the strings possible in Scribbletune, all of these over here, and let me stringify this so that it can be apparent that this is a really long list. So let's do, maybe we can just do join. Okay, so we have a string representation of all the scales within Scribbletune. So this is our data set really. If you go to see, this is quite a lot, and maybe we can put a count over here just to get an idea about what are we dealing with, and with each iteration we'll kind of bump this count and then console it out at the end. Okay, so we are printing all these scales, and at the end we are printing out, so this is our 1116. So this is our data set. Out of this data set, we have to operate. So one of the things that I was thinking of doing was, so the input is going to be something like this. It's going to be an array like so. C, E, and G. Let's take these three nodes as the input. Let's call it input. This is our input, right? What we want to do is we want to go over all of these scales that are possible in ScribbleTune and check the input for if they have these nodes. So what we'll start with is we'll try to, after joining, we'll also replace that string in such a way that it doesn't print the numbers, because we're not concerned about the numbers anymore. So we'll use a regular expression over here and G for global and just substitute with the empty string. So yeah, so now we are left with comma separated values for each of the scales. Now my idea was, since this will always be a ascending order, we could do the same thing. We could make a string out of this, or we could just within here, instead of doing all this replace business, we could just do one more loop inside, which makes it even worse, right? So if I move this input array over here, and then within this loop, I iterate over the input array, one more for each. So this is like throwing the whole code out of the window in terms of its quality and its performance and whatnot. I will just call this I, and within this we will actually verify if this note exists in this scale. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this string that we generated, remove the console, let str is equal to this str for string, and then if not of str dot includes I, which is the note from the input, we are going to make a variable to false, and we'll start with that variable as true. I hate this word bool. I don't know, for some reason it's kind of stuck in my head. I don't know, many years ago when I was writing PHP, I used to use this, let bool is equal to true. What the fuck does bool mean? I don't know. Anyway, we'll leave it for now because this is not the solution any which ways. I'm just trying to outline the problem over here and solving it in the most suboptimal way possible. So we can leave this bool for now. And what we'll do is, once this input kind of goes through, if bool, which means if all good, push this inside a array. So no, we don't need let over here. Const output. This is another array. We are going to push something in here. So what are we going to push? We're going to push the name of the scale and the note plus maybe a space plus s. S is the name of the scale. I don't know if this is going to work or anything, but yeah, this is what we have at the moment, and we are going to just return. We're just going to console out this output, and there it has returned so many scales which are supposed to have C, E, and G. I have no way of validating if this returned array is indeed including these three nodes, but hopefully you get the picture. There are these set of nodes, there are these set of scales, and each note of the chromatic scale can have we need to generate a set of scales for each of the notes in the chromatic scale, and then whenever the input, that's like a pre-processing step, and then whenever the input comes in, we iterate over that input against each of these just to see if we have the input nodes within a particular array. If it does, then we're just going to push it inside this output, and at the end we're going to return output. And obviously it's a broken solution. It's not the actual solution. I just wanted to put something down so that I can explain what the problem is. One of the things that I was wondering we can do, this is an idea that my son came up with. So what he said is we can build a graph of all the possible scales. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there is definitely a pre-processing step to this problem. And that pre-processing step could be go over all the possible scales and generate the nodes for them and build out a graph. And then when the code needs to run to actually check if the provided nodes exist or not within some of the scales, traverse over that graph, collecting the scales that match. So one of the ways to think is if you started with C major, then whatever the next node of that graph, let's say it's C minor, there would be a distance between C major to C minor. So I came across this thing called Levenshtein algorithm. So what it does is it tries to tell you what is the distance between two words. In our case, it's going to be strings, right? These are the strings. If we just go up, way up, yeah. So let's say this is one of the words, D flat, D, E, G flat, G, whatever. And then this is another word, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, whatever. So these are the two words, and we want to calculate the distance between these two words. So Levenshtein's algorithm helps us do that. And it does that by having these three operations that can be performed for reaching from one word, like making this word G-I-L-Y into G-E-E-L-Y. To convert this word to this word, there are three operations that you can perform on each letter. Either you add the character from the second word, or you remove the existing character from the existing word, or you replace it. So there are these three things that you can do. And for each of the operations that you perform, you increment it by one. And I think they use dynamic programming to solve this. Yeah, there is a dynamic programming approach. So you solve this problem like this, you build this table out, and by the end of this table, you have the count of the shortest weight or shortest distance between two words. So for example, Honda and Hyundai, the shortest distance, the distance between them is 3, the most optimal distance. So if we create a graph out of all these scales that we generated from ScribbleTune, and then each of the scales is a node, we build this graph out of the distances between each of these strings in the pre-processing step, and have this massive graph of 1016, I believe. Okay, it's gone now, but 1016 elements or nodes, where each node is separated from the other node by the distance it has based on Levenshtein. So I'm not sure if Levenshtein's algorithm is going to be the solution. This is just one of the things that came to mind. I had tried a hash map approach as well, and that did not work out the way I thought it would, making me believe that one must probably think hard before actually directly jumping into implementation. One must think through what the problem is, draw it out somewhere, whatever, do some whiteboarding, if you will, and then come up with a conclusion, and then come up with a solution. So yeah, so that is one of the approaches that we can think about. Try data structure is one of the things that my colleagues suggested with whom I discussed this problem, but I'm not sure if try can work, because try is a tree, and in this case it's not like a tree structure where you have a child and then where you have a parent and then it has some child nodes, and then those child nodes have their own, like if you go to see the tree or try, however you pronounce it, try data structure, this is the try data structure, right? So it just kind of goes from one node to the other, and then those nodes to the child nodes, and so on. So one node, once it has this relationship, it never goes back. So for example, this TE cannot have a relationship with this A over here, for example. But the way these scales are kind of laid out, there can be such overlaps that nodes could be interacting with each other, and they don't have necessarily just a parent and child relationship. Yeah, so I'm not saying that graph is the only solution for it. I'm just saying that is one of the things that's on my mind right now, and that's because of what my son suggested more than anything else. So yeah, so give it some thought, let me know what you think, and I will make another video as soon as I have the solution for this. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.